Hi, everybody, and welcome to another EBTV sports presentation this afternoon from J. Doyle Field here in East Brunswick. It is high school football as Edison meets East Brunswick in a Greater Middlesex Conference Red Division game. Hi, Jimmy Allinder being joined once again by Phil Hill. Phil, thanks for being with us. We have Edison coming into this contest with a 3-2 record. East Brunswick with a 1-6. Is it 1-6 right now? 1-4. I'm sorry. Teams of contrasting styles, but East Brunswick. Let's start with them. Decimated by injuries.
17, count them, 17 injuries, and that's got to take its toll on this very young team here. Nevertheless, the Bears are here, and they're going to be fighting as they usually do. However, some of the injuries are key injuries. Brett Dunbar, the starting quarterback, is out with an injury. Aya Felice is out. Carbone is out. A lot of first-line players are out. We have a young sophomore, Mark Mariski, who's making his first start at quarterback, and it should be interesting. I understand he's been a good player for the JVs, but now he's up here with the varsity, and that's going to be quite a test against a very tough Edison team.
Well, as far as the afternoon is concerned, we've got color in the air, we've got color on the field. I'm looking for the positives here, and it's going to be a great game this afternoon. So stick with us. We'll be right back after this. Okay, we're back at J. Doyle Field where East Brunswick is about to take on Edison. It is homecoming, Phil, and as we see it to the left, a lot of floats, colors. Fans are still arriving, and we're about ready for the kickoff.
I tell you, and Mr. Everything for Edison, Mike Tamini, will be doing the kicking off. He's also the quarterback as well.
This is a very strong Edison team. Good on the running game, as we're going to find out. Kicking off is number 14, Dambini, as Phil mentioned. Gathering it in for East Brunswick, number 36, Moneta, gets through and up to about the 32-yard line, and that's where the Bears will start out. As Phil mentioned, Mariski is going to be the quarterback. He is numbered, let's check that out, number 1 coming in now. In the backfield is Weinrob. He's at one spot. Of course, number 42, James Gagnon, is likely the workhorse back. He's the lone back, as a matter of fact. You got Weinrob split to the right side. East Brunswick, 1st and 10 on the 32. We're just underway here. Give is up the middle. That's the Gagnon, and he doesn't get anything.
Doesn't get much. You got the middle of that Edison defensive line making the tackle there. As you pointed out, Gagnon, the lone back in the backfield there. I sort of thought maybe the Bears were going to throw off that, but they only have one player to key on when you have one player back there, and that is Gagnon.
Phil, as you look down on the field, you see that Edison has the decided edge in size. Very big across the middle.
They have good size.
And led by their linebacker, Dwayne Wilson, number 30, right in the middle. Double flanker to the right here. Mariski up the middle again. Correction, he's got the ball himself. Thought he gave it up to Gagnon, but took it to the left side, Phil.
I'll tell you, a good fake by Mariski into the line and cutting to the outside and picking up that all-important first down. And for a young sophomore, he's showing us something early on, Jim.
So he gets just about at midfield, they're going to mark it, and a first down for East Brunswick. That's the first one of the game. Just underway, East Brunswick facing Edison. Beautiful day for a football game here. It's late October, and it's got to be about 75 degrees out. Mariski up the middle again. That's Gagnon. Good, solid run.
I'll tell you, James Gagnon, the heart and soul of this East Brunswick team, both offensively and defensively. Again, picking up a first down there. Good hard running by the senior back.
And I'll tell you what I immediately see from this sophomore quarterback is really good instincts when it comes to reading the defense. He fakes well, disguises everything well, and Edison's going to have to adjust. First down, East Brunswick. Ball on the 36-yard line of the Eagles. Up the middle to Gagnon. Gets good yardage. Pounds his way down to the 29-yard line. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Phil.
Once again, good running by Gagnon there, but you got to give credit to that offensive line.
Right.
There's some people, we're not sure of the players in there right now, but appears to be Dan Sauvigny and
You got Frank Panullo in there.
Panullo.
Greg Nagy is the right tight end. Up the middle. This time they collapse on him. And that was number 36 for East Brunswick Moneta.
And Brian Spencer, number 73 for Edison, 5'11", 225 pounds. 255 pounds making the tackle there.
They're big. That'll bring up a third and let's call it 6 yards to go. East Brunswick needs to get to the 26-yard line for a first down. They're about on the 32. And Mariski, oops, thought he was held, but he got away with it. And let's see, incomplete. Oh, nope, they got the flag out.
Well, it was intended for Weintraub, number 19 there. But there seemed to be
correction,
roughing the passer here.
Roughing the passer. And East Brunswick gets a break.
Now they'll get a first down there, Jim, and maintain control of the ball. And they've had it all of this first quarter thus far. And as you see, Mariski comes to the sideline there, Jim. We're familiar with that name. Mariski, that's I believe his sister, Lisa Mariski, played basketball. And Lisa's younger brother at the helm here for the Bears. Doing a good job.
All right, with that 15-yard mark off, that'll bring the ball down to the 17-yard line. East Brunswick marching. They started this drive just over their 32-yard line.
Well, more important, not only are they controlling the ball, they're keeping the ball out of the Edison Eagles' hands.
First down, East Brunswick. Sophomore Mark Mariski calling signals. Looks like a delay there.
I think he had illegal motion on that line there. One of the linemen jumped too soon, Jim. They're going to be penalized 5 yards.
Well, what happened was I think the center had a different snap than the rest of the line did. So that'll be a 5-yard penalty. Bring it back to the 21-yard line, make it 1st and 15. Kind of hard to see the clock. I believe it's 8:49 left to go in the first period of play.
And the Bears have controlled the ball all of the first quarter thus far. Okay, Weintraub and John Chu spread right here, Jim. Let's see what happens.
Give is to Gagnon. Wasn't fooled. Was number 68 for Edison. Joe Bonner, a 6'3", 240-pound
mercy
defensive end. So that, let's give him a gain of 2 yards on that play, making it 2nd and 13 for East Brunswick.
I haven't seen the Bears this year, Jim. Do they have a field goal kicker?
You got me going here.
I understand their field goal kicker's out, Jim, so they're going to keep this ball on the ground.
Gagnon has some room. And advances the ball down to about the 10-yard line.
And we talked about James Gagnon being the workhorse there. Had a nice big hole there and picked up some good yardage. Nevertheless, still shy of the first down, and understand their field goal kicker is one of the injured 17, Jim. So you can expect the Bears to keep everything on the ground here. We haven't seen Mariski pass yet. We might see him right here. We have Marrero spread right and Weintraub spread left as well.
Third and 5. Ball on the 10. Give is to Gagnon. He tries to pull forward. He's going to be short. Boy, look at that gang tackle going on. I'll tell you,
but Gagnon showing some power there. Took about 5 guys to bring him down. Okay, 4th down, Jim.
4th and about 2. Phil, I have to correct you on East Brunswick not having another place kicker. They do.
Well, I'm sure they have another place kicker. The question is whether he's experienced enough, Jim.
Well, you're wrong. She isn't.
Her
name is Ara Gunja, and I'm not sure she would be put in this situation, and Bears are going to go for it. 4th and 2. Give is no. Mariski elects to keep it.
Wow, and he slammed to the ground.
Right, and that was that middle linebacker I was talking about, Dwayne Wilson. And East Brunswick drives all the way down to about the 6-yard line and is stopped. Mariski caught in the backfield for a loss. So Edison will take over 1st and 10. They have 90 yards to go.
Well, I'll tell you, Jim, excellent drive by the Bears for much of this first quarter here, but we saw where injuries came into play. Ordinarily, they would have a field goal kicker come in and kick the sure, easy 3 points. Because of the injury, they're not able to do it. And here come the Eagles.
Up the middle, that is. No, to the outside, number 25. Good run there by number 25, Jason Spencer. And Edison gets out of trouble.
And a 1st down for the Edison Eagles.
Phil, you said it up top. This is a team that knows how to run.
They average about 230 yards on the ground there. Jason Spencer, one of the fine defensive backs there. But you're going to see a number of backs for this Edison Eagle team here.
Ball on the 27-yard line, 28-yard line, let's call it. 1st and 10. Give is up the middle, again to Spencer, and he gets nothing. Now we have a flag thrown in.
And I tell you, the way that flag was thrown in, Jim, I don't know if it's holding.
Could be a face mask.
Let's see. It is.
Yep.
And that's unfortunate for the Bears because they had stopped the Eagles. The Edison Eagles will get an automatic 1st down here.
A 15-yard personal foul penalty. And that brings the ball out to the 40-yard line. East Brunswick using almost the entire first half of the first quarter on that drive before.
Okay, we haven't seen Ellis or Wilson yet run the ball, only Spencer. Let's see what happens here.
Pitch. Given to number 32, and that is Ellis. You mentioned him, Phil, Antonio Ellis, coming up to make that play. Number 21 for the Bears.
I'll tell you, his game, Ellis looking very patient for a running back. You usually expect him to be a little more aggressive. He seemed to be taking his time, but knows how to run, coming off a 159-yard performance against Piscataway last week, 2 weeks ago.
We have a timeout on the field. Let's see what we got. There is somebody down on the field, I believe, here. We're blocked by, is that Ellis that went down?
We're sending both teams to the sideline, Jim.
Well, that would indicate that it is a debilitating injury. It is an East Brunswick player that's down. And it's Gagnon, Phil, now that I see.
And I talked about James Gagnon being the heart and soul of this East Brunswick Bear team, not only offensively from his fullback spot, but also defensively from his nose guard spot. And injuries have been the story, certainly a good part of this year for the Bears. They can ill afford to lose a player the quality of Gagnon.
Well, let's see. He's up on his feet and walking across to the sidelines. So Ellis's 6-yard gain makes it 2nd and 4. In quick fashion, the Eagles have advanced from their own 10-yard line up to a near midfield. Calling signals is Tambini, the quarterback. give is up the middle. Stopped nicely was number 44, Joe Lanza.
And Mark Marrero coming in and laying one on him, Jim.
That's what you got to do.
Mark Marrero, a hitter developed late last year as one of the best defensive players for the Bears and is picking up right where he left off.
Maybe a gain of 1, making it 3rd and a long 3. No score here between Edison and East Brunswick. 4:14 left to go in the first quarter on a beautiful day. Tambini gives off to number 32, Ellis, and no gain on the play.
I'll tell you, once again, the Bear defense doing a fine job there. You have Frank Panulo in there as well as Eric Brownstein.
Right, Pachowski was in on that play too. So that is going to bring up a punting situation for the Eagles. 4th and 4, loss on that play. Manetta, as well as number 5, Marrero. And that kick goes off the side of the foot and takes a bounce to the side, goes out of bounds on about the 44-yard line.
I'll tell you, very poor kick by Mike Tabini for the Edison Eagles there. And once again, the Bears get excellent field position. And, Jim, this is my first time seeing the Bears this year. And quite frankly, considering the record, I've been impressed. They drove that ball down most of the first quarter and came up with a nice defensive stop here against one of the better running teams in the county.
Well, we'll see if East Brunswick can continue with that fluid offense that they displayed in the first quarter. 3:23 left to go in the first stanza. No score. Mariski, the sophomore, keeps it and gets good yardage on that play, about 5 yards.
Okay, and you're going to see a lot of running by the Bears there. One of the things when you have a short week, when you have a substitute quarterback, you don't have time to get the passing game down because it's about timing. So you can expect the Bears pretty much to keep the ball on the ground here, Jim.
Credit that tackle to number 15, Will Robinson. And it's the misdirection that it has Edison confused. This is not where they're using their power and their size.
Gagnon back in there.
Triple backfield. Give is to number 21. That's Chu.
And John Chu, you got to give him credit. John Chu started out as quarterback for the Bears at the beginning of the season. Brett Dunbar came in to replace him, and Chu was put in the backfield. And I understand has done a credible job as a running back.
Gain of 1 on the play. That'll bring up 3rd and 4. Well, East Brunswick has had most of its success to the outside. You would think that they're going to try to do that this time. Mariski keeps and gets nailed. And probably had a Manetta to the outside if he so choose to pitch, but takes a good hit. Quarterbacks can't afford that too much.
I'll tell you, Kevin McGotti, number 12, a diminutive back for the Edison Eagles, came up and laid one on Mariski.
And so with that gain of 1, maybe 2, East Brunswick in a punting situation. That's File, the kicker, number 25.
And you got Bettinger and Wilson back for the Eagles.
Good snap. Takes an East Brunswick bounce, picked up by Ellis, and is wrestled to the ground by number 76 for East Brunswick. That's Panulo. And the Eagles will take over 1st and 10 on their own 28.
Okay, and Frank Panulo's been everywhere for the Bears, both sides of the lines.
We've got 1:11 left to go in this first quarter of play. No score between East Brunswick and Edison.
Okay, Mike Tabini knows how to throw the ball as well, Jim. We haven't seen him put it up in the air yet, but you might see him. You might see something right here.
Okay, we'll watch. Edison has exclusively been on the ground for its first series. Pitch to the outside, just missed. And bringing it upfield is 25 Spencer. Gets a first down on that play. East Brunswick's linebacker committed just a little too soon, and Spencer was able to get to the outside. So a first down for the Eagles, up to the 42-yard line. Samini, the quarterback for Edison, and a flag on the play, and I believe East Brunswick lined up offside.
I think so.
Number 84.
I think you're right, Jim.
Yeah, Brian Toady was the one that, in high school football, when you go over that imaginary line, you don't have time to get back. They call it. And he's out. So they'll talk about it. So that'll make it 1st and 5 for the Eagles. Ball on their own 47-yard line. And a pitch to the left here. Wilson with it. He's got some room. And he is off to the races. Number 30, Dwayne Wilson with the touchdown. That score coming with just 11 seconds left to go in the first quarter, a run of 57 yards.
And Wilson showing good speed here. Of course, Dwayne Wilson had scored the go-ahead touchdown in the overtime game against Piscataway before the Chiefs came back on him. And Wilson scoring the first touchdown of the game here.
All right, Tamini, the quarterback, is also going to kick for the extra point. Gets it through. And Edison out to a 7-0 lead.
And the Eagles just doing a nice job. They sealed off that left side there, Jim.
That's what they did.
And Wilson just took it all the way down.
Phil, there's a lot of action going on this afternoon in a variety of sports. Most notably is the Greater Middlesex Conference Cross Country Championships taking place at Thompson Park in Monroe. And this year, the outstanding runner for East Brunswick, Brian Donovan, is going to be one of the people, one of the runners that are going to be looking to win the boys' championship. We'll have to keep an eye on that. That race is going on just about now, as a matter of fact. And the girls will also be involved. The boys and girls Harriers, both with 4 and 2 records this year. And if time allows us, we'll talk about some of the other fall sports for East Brunswick. All having successful seasons.
All having successful seasons, and we might even have time to talk about your Yankees, Jim.
My Yankees, huh? That's right, baseball's going on, isn't it?
It will be going on tonight.
Yeah. Should we not bring up the subject of the Cowboys, though?
We should not.
Okay. All right, East Brunswick will receive the kickoff. Edison 7-0, 11 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Tamini to kick off. Manetta and Marrero deep for East Brunswick. Kick to the right side. Picked up by Manetta. Heads to the middle and is really clotheslined.
Hog-tied.
That by number 15, Robinson. Shows no graciousness as a visitor. And Manetta is still.
Wow, he got it right in the sort of in the neck there, Jim.
Yeah, that was really a rough tackle.
The young fellow made the tackle safe enough that it couldn't have been called face mask or anything, but got him right under the chin there, and that has a smart. We hope the young fellow's okay.
And that is going to end the first quarter of play, so teams will come to the sidelines, and Manetta will have a couple more seconds to gather himself. He is walking off the field,
and
being looked at by Phil Hostler, East Brunswick's trainer.
I'll tell you, Jim, right before the game, I had a chance to talk to Bob DeMarco and Tony Ascentino for the Old Bridge Knights, who are here scouting. And, of course, they haven't won a game, Jim. That's hard to figure. We talk about East Brunswick being 1-4, but when you consider Old Bridge Township not having won a game, you got to scratch your head. That's
And you know, there's been a change in the schedule that we should make aware to the fans. The Thanksgiving contest between East Brunswick and Old Bridge originally was going to be at Old Bridge. Well, it has been moved over to here, so the game is going to be played at East Brunswick.
Oh wow!
And
that's good news.
I understand we're going to bring that game.
EBTV3 will be doing the game.
Exactly. 11 a.m. start. And if you have not been asked to join us, you are now.
I've been asked already, and I plan on being here.
That's great.
Cindy's way ahead of you. Okay, I tell you though, the Bears, Jim, have got to pick up like they did that first quarter there. They got to reestablish that running game and try to keep the ball out of the hands of the Eagles.
Mark Mariski at the quarterback for East Brunswick. He looks like he's going to pass. Throws it long, and a great catch.
I tell you, a great catch and a great pass.
By Mike Marrero. You're right about the pass, too. That was right on line.
We were talking about we didn't know whether Mariski could pass and that they hadn't had enough time to get the passing game down, and the young fellow rolled out and came up with a beautiful strike right there.
Phil, that's one of the best pass completions I've seen by East Brunswick this year.
Okay.
And it gives them an important first down up to the 47-yard line, let's say. And, you know, you complete the pass, it's another dimension to your game that opens up the running game.
That's for sure.
Give is up the middle to Gagnon, but Robinson is right there to meet him. And there might be, well, let's call it no gain on the play. Will Robinson playing a really aggressive game for the Eagles. He was the one that made that tackle on Mineta.
Okay. They have a few players there that seem like they love to play defense.
We are 1 minute gone in the second quarter. Edison on its last drive, Dwayne Wilson with a 58-yard run to give the Eagles a 7-0 lead. 2nd and 10 for East Brunswick. Mariski keeps it and gets nothing.
Number 15 once again for the Bears there, for the Eagles, and that's Will Robinson.
Robinson once again. Phil, it seems like East Brunswick is having a little difficulty keeping Edison's front line out.
Well, they're overmatched size-wise, that's for sure, Jim. And I think the longer the game goes on, the stronger team is going to probably take over.
You look at the East Brunswick sidelines, and it looks like a walking hospital with the crutches and assorted bandages. This is a team that is very, very hurt. Not to make excuses. Mariski doesn't have enough time, and he was nailed.
Mercy, mercy. Will Robinson from the back, and let's see who from the front.
And is Mariski, he's up.
I didn't get who hit Mariski from the front, but Will Robinson from the back, and he's just blowing in there.
And as a sophomore, he's going to have to learn that he has precious few seconds to get the pass off. This Edison team has been penetrating all afternoon.
Okay, Bettinger and Ellis, excuse me, Jim. Bettinger and Ellis back to receive.
Okay, East Brunswick kicking, number 25. That's File. Gets it off. It's Allinder. Takes a bounce upfield. Picked up. Ooh.
I'll tell you, dangerous play if you're for the Edison Eagles there.
And we have an injury on the, yeah, number 54 for East Brunswick. That's Anderson. He's down.
Okay, Dimitri.
Gets up.
Twavesgoff made the tackle there for the Bears.
All right, here comes Edison with a 7-0 lead. 9:05 left to go in the second quarter.
We haven't heard from Jermaine Williams, number 83 for Edison Eagles yet.
Pitch left, Spencer, and he's lassoed. That was a nice tackle, I believe, by Mineta. Check that. That was number 35 for East Brunswick.
I thought it was Mineta, number 36.
Dmitry Tevesgoff. No gain on the play, making it 2nd and 10. And East Brunswick will do what it can to shoot the gaps, try to get through that big line of Edison. Up the middle, and nothing going. East Brunswick led by Frank Panullo, number 76.
And Marrero in there as well.
Let's say a loss of 1 on that play. So third, well, maybe we'll call it 3rd and 10.
Okay, and this appears to be a passing down. We'll see if Mr. Williams will get his hands on the ball here.
Split wide to the right for Edison is Brutus, number 84. Tambini looking over the middle. And a nice catch, nice throw and a nice grab.
And that's Jermaine Williams coming down with the catch near 1st down there.
He's near 1st down, but let's see if he got it. Depends on where they mark the ball. And let's see. They say it was enough. Boy, you talking about getting the right yardage. Middle linebacker for East Brunswick, Scott Anderson, out of the game right now. Gagnon is in the middle for East Brunswick, replacing him. 1st down for Edison at midfield. They lead it 7-0. Cut in and out by Spencer. And manages 2 yards on that play.
I'll tell you, Spencer reminds you of Fabershell for Bishop R, a little slashing type runner.
Phil, I have a sense that this is going to be a game of attrition, game of wear and tear as East Brunswick tries to hang in this game.
Well, attrition started before the game, Jim.
That's
those
for
injuries
sure.
for the Bears.
That's for sure. They just want to stay injury-free. 2nd and 8. Edison on the East Brunswick 48-yard line. Pitch is to the backfield. They got him.
I'll tell you, nice hit coming up there.
That was Ellis who carried the ball. And a good tackle. Who was that? Phil?
I think it was 36 again. I think it's Bobby Minetta again.
All right. Loss on the play. Brings it back to the Edison 47-yard line, making it 3rd and 13. Another passing situation, you would think. 5:50 left to go in the 2nd quarter of play. Edison holding on to a 7-0 lead.
Okay, they got Williams and Bettinger spurred right here.
Tamini looks to his right. He's hit. And they penetrate nicely. That was Panullo. He's played an outstanding game thus far.
I'll tell you, Frank Panullo's glad to see it. Last year, Frank Panullo had an injury that limited his playing time, and he's healed himself well and come back, and clearly is one of the leaders of this Bear defense.
They're ready to punt, and Marrero was looking the other way. Ball takes an Edison bounce.
And the point was to sort of catch him off guard. They did do that rather quickly, Jim.
And they down it on the 20-yard line, so the East Brunswick Bears defense bending but not breaking. Doing a good job except for that one breakaway run by Wilson. Have pretty much done the job thus far and are very much in the ball game. So now, with 4:59 left to go in the 2nd quarter, East Brunswick will take over from on its 20-yard line.
And, Jim, they don't have to do anything fancy. All they have to do is, again, try to control the ball and march down the field there. Keep the running game intact.
Risky gives up the middle and nothing going there. Well, it took a few series for the Eagles to figure out that misdirection of East Brunswick, the E-bone.
And one of the captains for the Eagles, Mario Ponte, came up to make that tackle.
Gain of 2, making it 2nd and 8. Mariski keeps it himself and finds a little bit of a hole. Gain of 3 on the play, making it 3rd and 5.
Greg Morgan, another captain for the Eagles, leading the charge defensively.
This Edison defense brings so much to the table. They're big, they're quick. This is a 3rd and 5 play for East Brunswick, and let's see, a reverse play, and it looks like they got it. Was that Gagnon?
I'll tell you, very close, Jim.
Fullback James Gagnon.
And he did pick it up.
Gets the necessary yardage. So a 1st down for the Bears. Down to 3:27 to go in the 2nd quarter. Again, Edison with a 7-0 lead. I believe both teams have their timeouts. Up the middle, no, to the outside goes.
Wow.
That was number 35 for East Brunswick.
And John Nurgis.
36, I'm sorry. It's number 36, Manetta.
John Nurgis pulling them down like you would hog tie a cow.
A loss of 4 on the play. 2:40. I feel East Brunswick would like to score here, but quite honestly, if they can get out of this quarter, this half, down 7-0, I think they've done a job.
That's why I don't think you'll see them pass here, Jim.
Fake. Mariski being hounded.
Oh, mercy.
And 5 tacklers
I'll tell you,
the
pursuit is outrageous.
Well, Robinson was one of the hitters, and I think he was hit by one of his own men.
Mario Ponte once again there, and John Nurgis as well swimming in there. And I tell you, Mariski has showed some durability there because he certainly has taken some shots.
Right. We have a timeout on the field, and that timeout was called by Edison, wanting to get the ball back because East Brunswick now has a 3rd and 13. And if they can stop them here, they should get the ball back with a fair amount of time.
And I'll tell you, if you look out on the field at those Edison Eagles there, Tom Gargiulo, you got to give him some credit. 1-9 last year, and the reason they're 3-2 right now, Jim, is because of hard work during the summer. He talked about the fact that they had a number of seniors who got together and worked very hard. They have 7 players who can lift over 300 pounds. They got one player there, Isha Bila. He's 6'5", 350 pounds, and he benches 425 pounds. So when it comes down to strength, the Edison Eagles have done the job and made themselves a better team from last year.
All right, a 3rd down situation for East Brunswick. There's 2:03 on the clock. 3rd and 13, we'll call it. And the conservative play is Gagnon, but if he can get through here and get some good yardage, let's see if Edison calls timeout. They do. Phil, I wanted to touch on the subject of what you mentioned about the size of Edison. Not many years ago, Edison was a team that was reeling as far as their program was concerned.
Truly reeling, right.
J.P. Stevens was the big horse over there in the Edison area. And I have to tell you, John F. Kennedy was another program that was doing well, but they're going to come on hard times themselves. It seems like teams are cyclical as far as players.
Well, it does go in cycles, Jim,
yeah.
but some teams' cycles stay down a lot longer, and some seem to stay up there. But
right. Piscataway being one that's perennially good. Saraville seems to be another program that has been, although we remember them being down. So we do have 1:53 left to go. 4th and about 6 yards, we'll say, for East Brunswick. They are in a punting situation. And Edison's going to try to advance the ball as much as possible. I believe they have a timeout that they can use.
Okay, Bettinger and Ellis back to receive the kick.
File deep for the punter for East Brunswick. Edison looks like they're coming.
Oh, mercy, they should have been.
And File gets it off. A line drive kick picked up through the middle, and a good hit by Marrero. So with 1:41 left to go in the second quarter, Edison will take over on its own 46-yard line.
Okay, Marrero and Dan Sauvigny.
Talking about that Piscataway team next week, East Brunswick does travel to Piscataway to meet the Chiefs.
And Chiefs not as strong as they've been in the years gone by, but they do have Larry Lester and Purnell, that quarterback.
All right, with 1:30-something. Good catch there.
And a first down, I believe that's Williams.
Yes, it was a first down.
Jermaine Williams.
And when they mark the chains, the clock will start to run once more. 1:34. Ball's down to the East Brunswick 43. What do we have here? Timeout East Brunswick.
Well, hey, the Bears want to make some defensive adjustments. Obviously, Jim. Ordinarily, you wouldn't give that timeout so Edison can get their act together. But the Bears saw something happening and had to make some defensive adjustments in order to stop things.
We mentioned the rest of the schedule for East Brunswick. Piscataway next week. That contest will be a 7 p.m. game. Excuse me. Yes, it will be. And then on November 3rd, we're back here for Perth Amboy, which has been having its own troubles this year. And then finally, there will be a playoff game. We don't know who it'll be, but at this point, we're fairly certain it's not going to be among the top 8 as far as Central Jersey Group 4.
I see.
But with the alignment now, teams do get an extra game. And then finally, we're back here on November 23rd. By the way, that playoff game would be on November 11th. So that would give East Brunswick an off Saturday, and they'll be back here on the 23rd for that Old Bridge game. Again, that is marked as an away game on your schedules. It will be here at East Brunswick.
Okay, Williams and Bettinger spread right here, Jim.
1:34 left to go in the quarter. First down for the Eagles. Tambini.
And I'll tell you, the Bears fortunate. Bears a little slow in getting one of their linemen in just about time the ball was snapped, and it didn't cost them.
Second and 10. East Brunswick has to be wary for that deep pass because Williams is tall. Pitch to Wilson. Finds some room. Wow, is he tough. And he gets through.
Once again, Dwayne Wilson showing excellent speed and just bursting through the left side there, Jim.
Speed and power, Phil. And quite honestly, I believe that's the same play that he scored on in the first quarter.
Well, the first quarter he had the whole left side sealed off. This time he had tacklers on the outside him and sort of split right through the would-be tacklers, Jim.
So that touchdown coming with 1:18. A run of 36 yards, making it 13-0. Tambini with the extra point attempt, and I don't believe him. Yeah, it's off to the left. So the score: Edison 13, East Brunswick nothing.
Okay, good pressure by the Bear defense. Michael McCarthy putting some pressure on in the middle.
That was a tough one.
Okay, Jim, the Bears played rather tough, and we had talked about if they could just hold the Eagles to 7 points, they would be sitting rather well there. And then all of a sudden, Dwayne Wilson breaks through and comes up with a key touchdown for the Bears. However, they did miss that extra point, and we'll see how that.
Yeah, quite honestly, 2 touchdowns isn't an enormous amount in decline, but Bears have to continue to stop Edison if they to get back into this game.
Okay, Bobby Mineta.
And Marrero deep for East Brunswick.
And the Bears could use a decent run back right here.
Good kick by Tambini. Gathered in by Mineta. And looks like East Brunswick's going to go up the middle.
Oh, mercy.
Excellent tackle.
Mercy.
That was by Nurgis, John Nurgis, number 45.
And he's been all over the place today, Jim, but just an excellent open field tackle there. Whew.
Robinson limping off the field. He has been, Phil, in my opinion, Edison's top defensive player.
Will Robinson? Well,
Yep.
Nurgis, who just made that tackle, has been awfully good as well.
Right. So East Brunswick with 1:11 left to go in the second quarter. They're down 13-0, and they needed to get something quick here. That give is up the middle. And tackled by a host of players led by number 66.
I'll tell you what the Bears won't be doing, Jim. They won't be throwing to Tambini's side, who Tambini had 4 interceptions last week, and he stripped the ball, creating a fumble. But 4 interceptions in a game there, so clearly he's a gamer. I doubt if they'll be thrown to his side.
Dan Todd was the tackler on that play. 2nd and 10, we'll say. Clock continues to run, 30 seconds. Up the middle is the run. Mineta, the ball carrier. And it looks like East Brunswick is going to elect the clock to move down. Five seconds. Pitch right, left. Chu, the ball carrier, driven out of bounds, and that looks to be the last play of the first half of play.
Jason Spencer coming up for the Eagles to make a sure tackle.
And that is it. The end of the first half of play with Edison holding on to a 13-0 lead over East Brunswick. Here at homecoming, we're going to be set for the festivities of homecoming with the march of the King and Queen in their courts. The band will provide its usual performance. I see floats off to the side.
That's something new, Jim.
Yeah. But right now we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with that activity in just a moment. Okay, we are back here at East Brunswick High School, J. Doyle Field, at halftime, where East Brunswick is down 13-0 against an Edison team. And if you look to the monitor, you'll see the King, Queen, and their court as they arrive. Leading the way are our seniors, Queen Alicia Morris, and the King, Frank Leola.
Cheech.
Okay.
Better known as Cheech.
And juniors, Chantel Hagen, who we know very well.
Celine Hagen's younger sister.
Right, and dance partner for my daughter Bethany. Eddie Ramos is her escort. And sophomores, Julia Kay and Danny Miller. And there they are. Phil, I've always get a little bit of a chuckle that they have a homecoming here, because you know when the real homecoming is, and that's Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving, that's for sure.
That's when everybody shows up.
One of the reasons that they shouldn't do away with that game, Jim.
Exactly.
It's a time when everybody's home, and one of the places that you can meet your old friends is at the Thanksgiving Day football game.
All right, I think we're going to take another break, and we will be back with the second half kickoff right after this. Back here at J. Doyle Field, we're halftime at East Brunswick and Edison. The Eagles holding a 13-0 lead. And Phil, you have a couple of statistics?
Well, I think for the Edison Eagles, they picked up 139 yards that first half. Of course, Dwayne Wilson had two big runs, a 54-yard run and a 42-yarder TD runs there. And if you're talking about for the Bears there, we had Gagnon, the leading rusher there, 10 carries for 42 yards. And Mariski on 7 carries, 11 yards. Of course, you got to minus out those tackles behind on the line of scrimmage there. Otherwise, he picked up much more.
And Mariski got nailed on a couple of those.
His durability I've commented on, because he has really been racked a few times.
So East Brunswick will kick off, going from our right to left to begin the second half. And let's see who's going to handle the kickoff duties for the Bears. It'll be Manetta.
We have Spencer, Jason Spencer, and Ellis back there. Antonio Ellis for the Edison Eagles.
Except for those two Wilson runs, Phil, East Brunswick has done a fairly good job of containing that Edison ground attack.
I think you're right.
So we're about to get underway here. Second half. Manetta lofts a short one that really is just fielded, and I thought it was a fair catch called by number 12 for Edison. That is Magotti, Kevin Magotti, a junior.
I think Magotti couldn't believe the ball was coming to him, and he was like,
said, everybody get out of the way.
Out of the way here, I got this, you know. He didn't know whether to take a knee or run it down.
Yeah. So good field position for the Eagles. They'll start, looks to me, about the 37-yard line is where they will begin the second half of play.
And Jim, this is homecoming. It's nice to see the little floats they had.
Oh, yeah.
And the king and queen in the court.
Mike Tambini at quarterback for Edison, as he has all the way. And it'll be a give to Wilson, makes this little stutter step, but really doesn't get all that much. East Brunswick's defensive line has done a really nice job.
Well, that's for sure there. And Eric Brownstein leading the charge right there.
Number 65. Eric Brownstein, a 6'1", 212-pound senior. 2nd and 9, we'll call it a short gain of 1 on that play. Spencer, the deep back for Edison. And give this to him. He has a little bit of room. Check that.
That's
Tambini kept it himself and faked everybody out, including me. And a nice block there.
And
yeah, that was
about 60 yards, Jim.
Phil, I tell you what, I thought that Tambini gave the ball off.
It was a good fake.
To Spencer.
A good fake into that line there. That's the first time Tambini has kept that ball, Jim. And he went on the outside. Of course, the Bears are familiar with it, with the fake dive and quarterback keep. And I think we have a flag, Jim. Or he stepped out of bounds?
We'll find out. Well, they're bringing it all the way back here now. Let's say the penalty being marked off at that point. Maybe it was a clip. I think Chu thought that it's a hold.
Wow.
All right, so let's erase that touchdown from the board.
Okay, big break for the Bears there. But Tambini showing great speed right there.
Ball will be marked on the 32-yard line. And again, it's just the one play that Edison seems to break through on that's victimized the Bears. They have to be sharp on that. Tambini back to pass. Here comes Brownstein. And gathered in. That's Williams on the reception. Modest gain of about 8 yards on the play.
I'll tell you, Williams seems to be the only one they throw to, Jim. I think he's caught 3 passes now from Tambini.
All right, 2nd down and about 3 to go. Edison on the move once more. We are just beginning this 3rd quarter. Actually, we have 5 minutes gone already. Spencer on the give. They got him.
Great tackle.
Good penetration again by that East Brunswick line, led by Panulo. He has been playing a well of the game all afternoon.
I've been impressed, really impressed with Frank Panulo. He's one of the captains for this Bear team there, and he's playing like a captain right now.
You know, if I'm not mistaken, he's going up against Belaya, that 350-pounder you were talking about.
Mercy.
And getting around him.
His quickness.
Yep. Tambini this side.
Ooh.
Chu gets a helmet right into him. And I believe that's going to be enough for a 1st down, though.
And you're right. Tambini, Chu making the tackle, but Tambini saw no place to go. Put his head down and right away. Picked up that 1st down.
Ball marked on the 18-yard line. 1st down for the Eagles. And a pitch left to Spencer. Chu tries to get him. Finally wrestled down.
And you got Panulo making a tackle all the way downfield there. But Spencer putting his head down and picking up good yardage himself.
That's about a gain of 7 yards on the play.
And the Edison has a bevy of backs, and you never know who's going to get it, Jim. They all can run.
Lanza in the backfield now. Give is up the middle to Wilson. Churns his way forward.
I'll tell you, should have been stopped early, but nevertheless, he picked up good yardage, just short of that 1st down.
Actually got a gain of 2 on that, so it'll be 3rd and 2. Ball is marked inside the 10-yard line at about the 9.
And I would watch Tambini on a keep here, Jim.
Yeah, I think so, Phil. He's
been given that dive play. It's time to fake it and go on to the outside.
Does have a lot of room to this right side if he wants. East Brunswick looks to be offside.
I'll tell you, just a little eager there, Bears, and that may give them the first down, Jim. I'll tell you, tough way to give up that first down.
And half the distance puts the ball inside the 5 to about the 4. Edison with a first down. Wilson, the deep back. That's a pitch left to him, and he fights his way into the end zone for another touchdown. That's his third of the afternoon.
I'll tell you, Dwayne Wilson, you're right, his third touchdown of the afternoon, and this Edison team knows how to keep everybody happy. Last week it was Antonio Ellis with 159 yards rushing. This week is Dwayne Wilson that is the hitman for
6-yard play. 6-yard play. Tambini for the point after. Blocked.
Good
blocked
block
by Gagnon.
I'll tell you, he blew right through there, Jim.
Right. That has been a source of strength for East Brunswick this afternoon defensively. They have been able to penetrate Edison's line. Nonetheless, though, another 6 points for the Eagles extends their lead now to 19-0. Play coming with 6 minutes and 59 seconds left to go in the third quarter. And now East Brunswick finds itself in a position where they really need to score.
And I'll tell you, look at the Edison Eagles. They just have a lot of weapons, as I pointed out. They took them a little while to get their running game in gear, and they look like they're using several options there. And
Phil, while we have a moment, East Brunswick's boys soccer team is fresh off a 2-1 overtime victory over Petty Friday, and that elevates its record to 12-2-2. They've earned the top seed in the GMC tournament, which will start on Monday. And the girls, of course, have been equally successful, and they've drummed up a 13-2 mark, and that's pretty much par for the course for the Bears. I think one of the outstanding achievements for them has been that they've won shared every GMC title since the formal inception of the GMC tournament, which I believe was 1978.
it's just amazing.
Architect of that is who? Lou Cosa. All right, Edison will be kicking off. They have just scored to make it 19-0. And Tambini, the quarterback, kicks off, goes to the left side. Nailed.
And my guy, John Nurgis, number 45.
Yeah, he's been
making
very
a tackle.
active. And Mineta was correct. Let's see, that was number 35 for East Brunswick. Tazagoff. So East Brunswick will see what it can do.
Okay, Weintraub spread left. Wishbone.
Mariski, give up the middle. Marrera
I'll tell you.
has a little room.
And he.
Holding the ball with one hand.
I'll tell you, Marrero showing good speed there.
And that is the best gain for East Brunswick all afternoon. Gets the ball deep into Edison territory, down to the 26-yard line. And a first down for the Bears.
And Nick Monar finally pulling Marrero down. M&M. What a fine run for the Bears.
Jermaine Williams was also chasing him, Phil. All right, let's see what East Brunswick can do with this excellent field position. 6:25 left to go in the third quarter. Edison up 19-0. Give us to Gagnon. Looks for some room to the left. Dragged down by Williams, but not after a gain of about, let's say, 4 yards on the play.
I'll tell you, Gagnon keeping those legs going. And Jermaine Williams coming up to make the tackle, though. Three-yard gain.
Right, second down for East Brunswick.
a team reacts as quickly as Edison Eagles are, Jim, you're right. You want to come with a little misdirection here.
Risky keeps it up the middle and finds a seam close to first down yardage.
And I'll say it again, Jim. I've been impressed with the young sophomore, having to come and take over the quarterback chores on short notice there. And I think he's acquitted himself rather well.
Looks to be about, well, we're going to have a timeout on the field. East Brunswick's going to call one. It's about third and about, 1.5 to go. And the ball is marked on the 19-yard line. We were talking about some of the fall sports.
Go ahead, Jim.
For East Brunswick in girls gymnastics. The EB team, the girls, captured the GMC championship on Thursday at Old Bridge with a score of 104.75, and that beat the host team. And while the Bears didn't finish with an individual in the top 3, Diana Coster managed to 5th place in the all-around event, and the Bears also received strong performances from Varad Sherman, Jan Ruth, Lynn Kirshner, and Ashley Morrison. Costner placed 3rd in the vault and 2nd in the uneven bars. And the field hockey team has earned a 2nd seed in the GMC tournament, which starts Monday. They will host Monroe. The Bears are 11-4-1 and have also qualified for the state tournament, which begins next week. A 3rd and 1.5 to go for East Brunswick.
Okay, Mineta and Weintraub spread right.
Give is to Marrera up the middle. He looks like he has enough.
I'll tell you, Marrera's showing quick feet.
And that is a first down for East Brunswick. And they get ever so closer to the goal line. Touchdown will really help.
Oh, no doubt about it. First of all, you don't want to be shut out. Secondly, they're still in this game if they can score here.
4:50 left to go in the third quarter. East Brunswick with its best penetration of the day. They're on Edison's 14-yard line with a first down. Mariski gives to Gagnon. Plows his way up. Was that ball loose or what?
I think there's going to be a holding call there, Jim.
That was not a penalty flag, Phil.
It might be a turnover then.
No, there was a loose ball, and they're still grappling for it. And the official has signaled that East Brunswick has retained possession. Panulo's down on the ground.
And I'll tell you, Frank is. We talked about him earlier, the senior who's been the captain and certainly one of the leaders of this Bear team, offensively and defensively. You see him pounding the ground, and all you have to do is just know his story. Here's a young man that was injured all of last year due to an injury down the shore, had to sit out, and worked his way back to come back this year. So if you see him pounding the ground, he's probably thinking, listen, you know,
what more can happen?
What more can happen? I don't want to be injured now. This is my senior year.
He's trying to get up off. You know, he's walking.
Okay, 5'11", 265. And it's a good sign coming off on his own power, Jim.
Well, despite the fumble, Gagnon was able to get 2 yards on the play, or perhaps 3, so we'll call it 2nd and 7. Ball marked on the 13-yard line. Give is to Marrera. However, Wilson's back in the backfield, wrestles him down for a loss. And that'll make it 3rd and about 10 yards to go for East Brunswick. 3:35 remaining in the third quarter. Edison up 19-0 in this GMC Red Division game.
Okay, you got to wonder whether Mariski's going to come with a pass here, Jim.
Well, give was to Gagnon, but they were on it. Number 68, Joe Bonner making the tackle, so nothing going there. So we're faced with a 4th down. And let's see what East Brunswick wants to call on this play. 4th and 9, we'll say. Mariski looking in the end zone and
touchdown.
Caught. No, he's not quite in.
I'll tell you, it appeared to be, Jim. Right on the.
He's right about on the 1 yard line. Weinrob with the reception.
I'll tell you, great pass by Mariski. Threaded the needle there, and Weintraub showing good hands.
Threaded the needle in more ways than one, Phil. He made that first down by about a half yard.
And I'll tell you, had 2 Eagle defenders right there. Weintraub nevertheless made the catch, Jim.
Been impressed with Mariski's passing ability. He hasn't had time to throw many times, but when he has, it's been with authority. What do we got here? Official timeout for a moment.
And you're going to see James Gagnon here. You got to believe it.
1st and goal on the 2. Give is to Gagnon. You called it, Phil. Touchdown, East Brunswick. The touchdown, a 2-yard run, coming with 1:51 left to go in the game. And let's see what East Brunswick decides to do. They will go after the point after.
And kicking for the Bears is
that's Mineta. We have a flag. Somebody must have lined up in the neutral zone. Amazingly, Phil, Panula's back in the game. I thought he was done. He's probably playing on guts.
Well, probably so, like a lot of the players.
Yeah.
They tell me Gagnon has injuries every week, but nevertheless, he's out there.
All right, probably an offside play by East Brunswick backs it up 5 yards, so Mineta will have to convert from farther out. Snap, kick is blocked. That was Tambini who got his hand on it.
Well, the high snap there caused that, Jim.
Yeah, just a fraction of a second too long to get it down, and Mineta wasn't able to get height on the ball. So with 1:51 left to go in the 3rd period of play, East Brunswick gets on the board. It is now Edison 19, East Brunswick 6.
And rather encouraging for the Bears. I talked about it, Jim, that if they could score on that drive there, they could possibly put themselves back in the game. They're a couple touchdowns and a few extra points away. But they got to come up defensively strong here and put a stop on the Eagles right now.
And those 6 points registered by East Brunswick, I believe, are the first in a couple of weeks. I know they were shut out by Woodbridge last week. Of course, 2 weeks ago at Bishop Bar, that victory, first of the year.
And the Bears are going to squib kick this at the Bears.
We will see. Mineta lined up. Caught. Williams, it looks like, has it.
I'm not sure what that was, Jim.
Well, the intent was to place the ball somewhere between the first wave and the second wave, and they weren't quite successful. Number 89, Greg Taylor, a 6'4", 200-pound senior, was the one that returned that for Edison. Eagles will get the ball, first down on their own 42. This is Mike Tambini, the quarterback. Gives to Spencer. Finds a little bit of room before he's brought down. He was brought down by a host of tacklers.
Yeah, Mike Marrero leading the tacklers, though, Jim. Number 5, been aggressive all day.
Gain of 2 on the play, making it 2nd and 8. Edison will primarily keep it on the ground. They do that anyway. And we're just down to about a minute left to go in this third quarter of play. East Brunswick's going to have to get that ball. Give this to Wilson. Tries to find some room, but Marrera makes a nice tackle.
One-on-one, Mike Marrero coming in to trip up Wilson there. Mano y mano.
Good job on that play to keep Wilson to no gain. 3rd and 8 on this play, and it'll be a big one, Phil. Coming up right now, East Brunswick can get the ball back. The character of this game could change. Williams, the wide receiver, to the top of the screen. Tambini looks to him, finds Williams, gets away from one tackler. Shue, though, is there.
And the Bears do the job, Jim. And we talked about if the Bears could come up with the stop right here. Matter of fact, we point out that they had to come up with a stop right here to get back in this game, and they done just that.
And Williams did not get out of bounds, so that is the last play of the third quarter. And East Brunswick, however, is going to get the ball, perhaps. We'll have to see. I guess they're going to punt here. 4th and about 6.
No doubt about it.
Just about at the, 47? So the end of the third quarter of play, East Brunswick down by 13 points, 19-6. And just to wrap up our fall sports coverage, the girls tennis team continues to roll along with a 16-2 record, and they captured another GMC team title a week ago. The #1 singles, Alina Balasa, won the title with a victory in the finals over Rupali Kulkarni of Old Bridge. And other victories included Debbie Sharnack's second singles win and Jen Ang, who nailed down the third singles. In second doubles, East Brunswick continued its dominance with a victory by Rachel Newman and Anna Cooperstein. The girls' volleyball team continues to enjoy an excellent season with a 12-6 record thus far, including a 2-0 win over South Brunswick yesterday. Here we go to begin the fourth quarter. Edison punting. Marrera and Mineta deep for East Brunswick. Nice kick. Looks like Marrera is going to let it go. It bounces out of bounds on about the 16-yard line. That was a fine kick by Edison.
I'll tell you, the great Tambini, he does it all. He's the kickoff man, the extra point man. He's the quarterback and a great defensive back as well. Mike Tambini does it all for Edison.
So East Brunswick will have a good portion of the field to travel in order to narrow this score even more. That was the first play of the fourth quarter.
Okay, you hear the band getting into it, Jim. All right, here we go. The Bears got to make something happen here, Jim.
Mariski at quarterback. Give is up the middle to James Gagnon.
And what a workhorse he's been, Jim. We knew that coming into the game, and
boy, I'll tell you, a couple of players got. They're working so hard.
I'll tell you, you got a lot of these players going both ways, Jim,
yeah,
which takes its toll as well. You see the teams coming off raising their hand fourth quarter, but if you're going both ways, come fourth quarter, those legs get a little extra heavy.
Gain of 4 on the play. Boy, Gagnon did get yardage on that play. 2nd and 6. Mariski keeps it, however, caught from behind. Nice play by number 60. That's Ponte, Mario Ponte. He's been active for that Edison defense. Let's say no gain on that play. Make it 3rd and 6. Big play for East Brunswick.
Weintraub spread left along with Mineta.
Risky keeps it himself. Ball's loose. And there was a mishap on the exchange.
And number 87 for Bill Andrews comes up with the recovery for the Eagles.
And that's unfortunate for East Brunswick. That's their first turnover of the afternoon.
Well, it's unfortunate and it's untimely, Jim. We talked about them controlling the ball here, getting back into the game, and the one big thing that could hurt them there was the turnover, and it occurred.
So Edison will take over on the East Brunswick 22-yard line. 10-10 to go in the game. This is Tambini. Pitch right to Spencer. Makes a move to the outside, finds more room, and he gets a nice gain down to about the 12-yard line.
I'll tell you, Spencer gave him the leg, took it away, stepped to the outside, and picked up an all-important first down.
And my mistake on that, he's already down to about the 2 or 3 yard line. Well, let's call it the 5.
And the only question here is, will Mr. Wilson score his 4th touchdown, or will they give it to somebody else?
Yeah, I think he's looking at some headlines tomorrow with that one.
He's got headlines already.
So the backfield of Spencer, Wilson, and Lanza. Give is to Spencer, who is met.
He's hit for a loss
by Panella. Boy, he just will not give up.
Frank Panulo again, playing like the captain he is. Just a super game.
I'll tell you what, if Edison's going to score, they're not going to go through the middle. East Brunswick has been tough all game. All right, we have a back in play here. Bang.
Oh, mercy.
No, kept by Tambini, who loses a handle enough so that he wasn't able to get that in. I thought he had an edge to the left side.
I thought he had edge. I'm still looking at the shot on Wilson there, Jim. I'm still looking at the shot on Wilson. Wilson was nailed. Of course, he didn't have the ball. And Tambini came around the left side to pick up some yards, but
and on that tackle, Manetta went out of bounds and is still down.
I wish we had instant replay, Jim, so we could see who laid the lick on Wilson.
We have a momentary stoppage of play while they attend to Manetta. Well, the way they're working him, it looks like he has cramps.
Could be a cramp. Manetta, Bobby Manetta, 5'9", 141-pound sophomore, who's been doing a good job today. We certainly hope the young fellow's okay.
Well, he looks like he has 2x4s.
And of course, Manetta is a name we know around here in East Brunswick, Jim.
Oh, yeah.
Manetta's been synonymous with good football.
All right, that will bring a 3rd and 8, we'll call it, and goal. Tambini looks to the right for Williams. Beautiful pass. And it is a touchdown. He laid that right in the back.
Oh, that's the fade pass there, and Jermaine Williams ran a nice pattern there. And you're right, Tambini laid it right up there.
That 8-yard touchdown coming with 8 minutes and 10 seconds left to go in the 4th quarter, extending Edison's lead to 25-6. They will go for the point after. And who else to kick it but Tambini?
Mr. Tambini. That's the only thing he's done wrong today, Jim.
Yeah.
He's missed a few extra points. Shows good leg, nevertheless.
So with 8 minutes and 10 seconds left to go, Edison with a 25-6 lead over Edison.
Well, and the story there was converting that turnover, Jim, into a touchdown. We talked about it was ill-timed, and Edison Eagles took advantage of it and upped the score.
Phil, despite the score, I tell you what, I just can't say enough about the effort by this East Brunswick teams this afternoon. We know that what's going on out there with all these players injured and out.
Well, as I said, this is my first game, Jim, and if you haven't seen the Bears this year and you see some of the papers and whatnot, you think that they're just getting beat up on. These guys are playing good football, playing good hard football, and a few mistakes here and there ends up being a difference. And they, as I said, they had 17 players injured, the starting quarterback as well, and nevertheless they've somehow played a respectable game.
Tambini kicks it to the right side, and Chu lets it fall out of bounds. So Bears going to have the option of taking it on the 35 or having Edison kick it one more time. Let's see what they decide. Ball will be marked on the 35-yard line. Phil, I tell you what, I see some high school football games around the state, and I just can't get over the size of the teams in the GMC Red Division. Every one of them. Woodbridge, Saraville, Piscataway, Edison, JP State, they're all huge.
Great size, no doubt about it.
Mariski looks like he's going to pass. And Tambini, of course, is the one that picks it off. And he's got room to the right side and blockers. Chu, though, makes a nice tackle. Now we have a flag. Let's see what this is all about.
I'll tell you, Jim, there's a clip, I think, back here. But, Jim, I talked about not throwing the ball in Mr. Tambini's direction simply because he had 4 interceptions against Piscataway last week. And they threw it in his direction, and you see what happened. But we have an injured player down on the field there.
That is Marrera, and the way Marcus Borden is talking to the official, it must have been an obvious clip.
Well, it's a clip, and the flag is thrown. I think Marcus is saying, it's.
Well, it was a clip that was 30 yards away from the
shouldn't have happened.
Play.
It shouldn't have happened. You're right.
So that game will come back. And we hope for
if you look
the senior Mike Marrera's sake that it isn't serious.
And as I talked about Marrera before being an excellent player, he came on the end of last year and just was super last year. We knew he'd be one of the better players this year. And if you look at Marcus Borden, he's got to be frustrated. Injuries was the name of the game coming into this game tonight, and now you got one of your top players down. We certainly hope the young fellow's okay.
And have to say, we have to target one of your favorite defensive players, John Nurgis, on that clip.
Is that who did it?
You betcha.
No.
Marrera is up and walking around, thankfully, for East Brunswick. I know that Borden is the last one to make excuses about injuries. You play with what you have. And with this team decimated as it is by as many injuries, you hate to see something like that happen. It sort of like adds insult to injury, if you will.
Salt to the wound, I understand.
You bet. Yeah. All right, so with have they marked the penalty off yet? I don't think they have. Well, not quite sure what happened on that, but okay, they marked it off from the end of the run. So it's a first down for Edison. Ball's on the 26-yard line. Give is to Wilson up the middle. And that may be a sort of white flag being put up. Edison saying to East Brunswick, we don't plan to do too much more except run up the middle. And, of course, there is another injury on the field. Let's see who that is.
I'll tell you, Steve Pachowski made that tackle there. He sort of came in head first. He's bent over, but he's not the player on the ground, Jim.
Right, and let's see who that is. Excuse me. East Brunswick does not wear numbers on the side of its uniform, so it's sometimes difficult to catch who it is. That is number 67 for East Brunswick, Matt Jendernall.
6 feet, 184-pound junior, Jananol, and he's
a little woozy, but nonetheless walking off the field.
Okay, Hostler also looking at Pachowski, who we talked about.
Right.
Pachowski came in head first to make that tackle, and
he's coming off.
He got a stinger.
This game of football can be sometimes very cruel. All right, Edison's about ready to go, but East Brunswick isn't.
Okay, Steve Pachowski, a 222-pound senior, coming to the sideline along with Phil Hostler.
2nd and 10 for Edison. 7:40 remaining in this contest. Eagles with a very comfortable 25-6 lead. Give is up the middle to number 44, Lanza. He hasn't seen much ball carrying activity today.
I think that's his second carry. They don't run the fullback that much.
We'll call it 3rd and 7. That give is to number 42, who is met at the line of scrimmage. Derek Sahine. Haven't seen him too much. He's a sophomore.
The Eagles clearly putting in some of the reserves here, Jim, now. Letting them get some playing time. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, it's a 4th down. Loss of 1 on that carry, making it 4th and 8. Very physical game played today. Pitch right to Sondheim, gets away, and East Brunswick's going to come up with it. It was a 4th down play anyway, and we got another player on the field. All right, that was number 65, Brownstein, who gets up. So East Brunswick will take over with 6:06 remaining in the contest.
And Jim, I talked about in the second quarter about what happens when it comes to fourth quarter, particularly when you got a lot of players going both ways. I talked about those legs getting heavy, and that's when a lot of injuries can occur there, because you're really tired and your defense system is sort of shut down.
I understand what you're saying. All right, Mariski, who last threw an interception, is back at the controls. Pitch. Nope, that's the Gagnon up the middle.
And a host of Eagle players tackling Gagnon. Or was that? Hold up, that's number 35.
Right. That's Tagasgov. Dmitry Tagasgov. Tazvagov.
That's close enough, Jim.
Okay. Gain of 3 on the play, making it 2nd and 7. Risky, still with it. Looking downfield, tried to connect with Taviskov.
I'll tell you, nice pass by Mariski. Hit the young fellow right in the hands. He just wasn't able to pull it in.
So that incomplete pass will make it 3rd and 8. Ball rest on about the 30-yard line. Risky. Can't find somebody.
I'll tell you, and Bill Andrews coming in from his defensive end.
6'2", 215.
Linebacker spot.
Boy, they get bigger as the game goes on, doesn't it?
Seems that way. That's
wow. First time we've called his number.
He's been in on few others.
All right, a 4th down for East Brunswick. Clock continues to roll down to 4:40. And let's see who's going to punt for East Brunswick since Minetta's been hurt.
Okay, Bettinger and Ellis
I
back.
think that's Phil, who normally handles the, well, he normally is the punter. Gets off a decent kick. Gathered in by number 8 for the Eagles.
Bettinger.
Bettinger down on about the 45-yard line. So once again, the Eagles will take over. Not looking to do too much at this point except run the clock off. They do have a comfortable lead, 25-6. 4:14 remaining in the contest.
And let's see if they change quarterbacks here as well, and they do, Jim. Number 7 coming in for the Eagles.
Ryan Chupka.
Chupka.
All 5'5", 135 pounds.
A sophomore.
Makes me wonder if he played for the Edison Jets 2 years ago, or last year for that matter. Well, he really does look. I think they're being kind by calling him 5'5".
Or last week.
Give is up the middle to Spencer, who remains in the game. Gets good yardage on the play. Let's say a gain of about 7 on the play, making it 2nd and 3.
And Nick Diamorin on the tackle. I'm sorry for the Bears. Brian Ackerman on the tackle, sorry.
Give is to number 42 for the Eagles. That's Sehine, Derek Sehine. And it looks like enough for the 1st down. It does. And the Eagles will continue to roll. Three minutes remaining in the contest. Chupka, quarterback for Edison. Give is to Sehine again, and he plunges forward for a few yards. All right, you basically have the entire first team out now. Let's say a gain of about 3, making it 2nd and 7.
Okay, Pachowski leading the defensive charge for the Bears.
That's Sehine one more time. Looks like, excuse me, that is not Sehine. That was Lanza.
Okay, and Gagnon and Frank Panullo in on the defensive stop.
Mention again one more time that next week East Brunswick will be at Piscataway. 7 p.m. Friday night start on the 27th, and then this 2 weeks from today, 2 weeks from Friday, November 3rd, Perth Amboy will be the opponent. Let's see what we have here.
And defensively, the Bears haven't stopped playing.
Loss on the play will bring it back to the 33-yard line, making it 4th and about 8.
A host of tacklers, including David Lee.
The Eagles will go for it. Give us to Sehine. And he rumbles ahead, but not going to get the 1st down, so East Brunswick will take over with 51 seconds remaining in the game. Again, Edison with 3 touchdowns by Dwayne Wilson in each of the first 3 quarters giving them a 19-0 cushion. East Brunswick came back on a 2-yard run with 1:51 left to go in the third period by James Gagnon to make it 19-6. And then the Edison Eagles scored with 8:10 left to go in this game. A touchdown pass from quarterback Mike Tambini to Jermaine Williams, 8 yards. 25-6 is our score. This is East Brunswick with the ball. Mariski's been all the way at quarterback for the Bears. And let's see, did he get that handoff? Yes, he did to Gagnon, who is in a foot race with number 84.
Man,
gets by him.
Go.
No, they say that he was out of bounds.
I'll tell you.
Jackie Brutus just was able to nudge Gagnon out to the outside.
And I'll tell you, you got to give Gagnon a hand, Jim. This is a young fellow who's been going both ways, playing nose guard, which could be considered the toughest position on the team defensively, and playing fullback, and still here it is with seconds to go in the fourth quarter, and he's giving it all he's got. You got to like it.
So with 35 seconds left to go in the game, East Brunswick has the ball on the 28-yard line. Going to do their darndest to get into the end zone. Mariski holding on to it, pitches, gives to Manetta, who's tossed out of bounds, but not after a gain of about 9 yards.
And I'll tell you, the Bears want this score, Jim.
At 9 ticks go off the clock, so we're down to 26 seconds.
They want the score, and I think they're going to go to the air here, Jim.
Mariski drops back, passes.
Oh, mercy.
I don't know.
Might
if
have been
was,
tipped.
Yeah, might have been
Might
tipped.
have been tipped, or either slipped out of his hand. End over end pass.
That pass was intended for number 19, Weinrob, who made that nice catch. Can't forget that, Phil, on a 4th down for East Brunswick
That's
to keep
for
the drive alive. Bring up a 3rd and 3.
I'll tell you, a draw would surprise them right now.
Mariski keeps it, looks downfield, and may have enough for the first down. Let's see. They keep the clock rolling, however, down to 7 seconds. And now we have a timeout. I think they may measure. East Brunswick will probably call a timeout here.
Okay.
And let's see what we have. And they give East Brunswick a first down. So 6 seconds left to go in the game.
I think it wouldn't have made much difference either way, Jim. You got one play.
Well,
and I think what's going to happen is you got to go with your best pass play to your best receiver here. We look for number 19.
Yeah, East Brunswick is going to use a timeout. So you got 3 seconds left on the clock.
As I was saying, you got to believe it's going to be a pass, and to their best receiver, number 19, I would think, Weintraub. We'll see.
Weintraub has been, as you mentioned, Phil, their top receiver, and see if you can get him loose on a slant pattern into the middle. As we mentioned, this has been a hard-hitting game all day long. It's been about, I think Frank Panulo has more lives than a cat. That guy I thought was out of the game a number of times, but has continued to play. He's in there now on offensive tackle. Great efforts by Marrero, Manetta. Gagnon has been outstanding this afternoon.
Okay.
And let's credit Mariski, the quarterback, in his first start. So he has one play here, Phil.
Watch for Marrero out of the slot as well.
Drops back, rolls to the right, looks in the end zone, and picked off. Ball fumbled around. It's still alive.
And that's the game.
And now it's finally down. And perhaps a fitting way to end this game with the ball bouncing around. Final score, Edison 25, East Brunswick 6. Clock was turned off and he was out of here before we could even get that out of my mouth. Phil, we give credit to East Brunswick for turning in a fine effort.
Well, the things people will see the score in tomorrow's paper and think that the Eagles took it to the Bears. Actually, the Bears played, the undermanned Bears played a very spirited game. And if they can get some of those bodies healthy there, they got a few more wins, I think, down the road.
All right, so East Brunswick, with this defeat this afternoon, falls to 1-5. Edison brings its record to 4-2. The Bears will be on the road next week against a very, very good Piscataway team. So it'll continue for East Brunswick this tough road ahead in this year 2000 season. All right, that's going to do it this afternoon. The final score, Edison 25, East Brunswick 6. For Phil Hill, this is Jimmy Allinder saying thanks for being with us.